Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. Look for The Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Ew. Can't decide if you sound like a person so close to death they're like 1,001 years old, or a child. It's a good in between. It's Fisting Friday. Are you ready to be fisted, everyone? I can't. So, I mean, okay, I'll take a deep breath and I'm ready to get fisted. I'm actually so not.
You shouldn't take a deep breath. You could take a deep breath as it goes in.
Well, no, wouldn't you do it when you like release? I'm thinking of like a gynecologist appointment where they're like, okay, deep breath and release. And then when you release, your body relaxes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, as it's going in, you...
Yeah, but that's breathing out. That's what I said.
No, yeah.
I'm questioning if I said it wrong.
I thought you said as in take a deep breath as it's going in.
No, I meant release the deep breath. But hey, I could have said it wrong.
Roll it back.
I don't think anyone cares enough.
They don't.
Well, welcome to the episode. We're going to read the results of last week's. No, literally not last week's.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
We are reading the results of last week. If this is your first time listening to our show, don't go back in episode because you won't know what's going on. And this is not how the show usually goes. This is extra content to read the results of But Am I Wrong? Episode
56?
56.
So.
How are you?
Tired. Can you tell?
No, actually I can't.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's so nice. That's because I put glitter on my eyes. Glitter on my eyes. I
have some on mine too.
I'll put my glasses on later and then see the glitter on your eyes.
I mean, you literally walked right past a huge table.
And you're like, did you see the new table? And I was like, where?
There was two, actually.
No, I know.
One of them you might not have seen. But I was like, there's... For sure, you definitely walked past one of them.
I walked past both of them.
Okay.
When I put away my future lunch. So that's just me. But I don't know that anyone would have ever called me observant.
No.
Unless I'm looking for something. Actually, if I'm looking for something, I also have a hard time finding it. Unless we're talking about stalking people on the internet. I'm pretty good at that.
That's true.
Can we talk about how gorgeous the shade of pink is that I used? For the voting slides.
Like where? Yeah, I like it.
Me too. It's like dusty, but like kind of like it's ice creamy. Like it's creamy.
Well, that's good. You know why?
Because it's Fisting Friday.
But not just that. But once we get to your results, it matches.
I think that's why it is actually why I did it now thinking about it. Okay, you want to take us away? Oh my God.
White people shouldn't treat Martin Luther King Jr. Day as a long holiday weekend. 3% said that I was wrong. 97% said that I was not wrong. And we've got this lovely picture of Jack Black holding a stop sign. If you said that you made a mistake, cool. But if you're somebody that didn't make a mistake, just let me know. I just want to know your reasoning.
Yeah, just share with the class. Mm-hmm. We don't bite.
No. Unless you ask for it.
And even then, I'm going to ask you when the last time you showered. I'm going to ask you if you wash your legs. I thought about that yesterday while I was showering. And I was like, how the fuck does I would have to consciously not wash my legs.
I have thoughts about that, but listen to next week's But Am I Wrong?
Oh, okay. I love it when it's tied together like this. Also, apparently in the show description, I think we wrote white people should treat Martin Luther King Day as a holiday, like in the episode.
By we,
Show
don't be
notes.
me.
Hey, I'm accepting just as much responsibility as you here because I saw it and I didn't say anything.
Well, then yeah, that's on you.
It is.
That would be a hot take.
And people are looking going, who said that? Was that Melissa or Meghan?
My name is next to it.
Oh,
so.
yeah, true. Like, wow, that's a very hot take. And we were going, sure. Okay, my hot take was Dippin' Dots are not the ice cream of the future. 4% said I was wrong. 96% said I was not wrong. I'm like low-key obsessed with the 4% of people who were like, you are wrong. Like, it is the ice cream of the future. Like, I'm holding out hope. Like, I love that.
Somebody said that they recently went to Florida and had it, and it changed their life. Also, a lot of people said that it's like so delicious, but one person did bring up the point, like, because you can't have it in your freezer at home has probably stopped the expansion of it.
That's like, you brought that up in the original, and like I think like you and that person, like that's their biggest downfall.
Yeah.
And the idea that they're like, oh well, you can buy a Dippin' Dots like registered Sub-Zero fucking Arctic fridge, and you're like, or freezer. Like, that's not going to be
Future goals. I've been looking into standing freezers recently. So next.
You know what I'm telling you what you need? As someone who literally just told me that you have not gone grocery shopping in weeks and you've been like living out of food of your freezer.
Exactly.
Are you committing to this, or are you going to get a full standing? Like, do you want a freezer and a half?
My freezer is not big. And so I haven't been able to get all my meats that I usually have in the last year. And so if I get this standing freezer, I can bring my meats back.
So what's taking up room in your freezer?
There's some meats, some lobsters.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but I've been eating through it. I'm almost gone. So now I'm almost
But
through.
now you have room.
But it won't be enough room for the order that I need to get.
Okay. I don't know if anyone knows this. If you are new here, Melissa is a doomsday prepper.
I am not a doomsday prepper. I just like a certain quality of meat that you cannot just readily get at the grocery store.
No, that was not a slight. Like,
I'm
I
just
love
letting
that
you
you're
know.
No. But like, you're.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
You're not about to go to Whole Foods or a local butcher and get like one singular serving of something.
Yeah, like first of all, the one that's at Whole Foods, I like to eat bison, and the bison that's at Whole Foods, all they have is ground packaged. They don't have it fresh. I've asked. They said they could get it, but why? When I can get it directly from the farmer.
When you can be like, I would like to pick that bison for you to slaughter.
I mean, and with the lobsters, they send me pictures of the lobsters when they catch. They literally send Polaroids. And so, yeah, like I can go directly to the source. Why would I use the middleman? Exactly.
I think it's a great idea. I'm just wondering if you're going to then upgrade to a full fridge, or are you going to do a freezer and a half? Like, is this going to make you go, I don't have enough fridge space?
No, it's not fridge. It's just the freezer.
No, I know, but I'm wondering if you have you're going to have right now you have a refrigerator that is part refrigerator, part freezer. Mm-hmm. You're going to get a standing freezer. So essentially now you have a freezer and a half.
No, my refrigerator's usually empty anyway, so.
That's true.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll stock up on beverages, but I'll never have enough beverages to fill the whole fridge.
So many. I'm also a beverage bitch, so like I understand. So I'm happy for you in your future of a standing fridge.
Thank you.
I'm curious to see where this is going to go.
It's going in the little breakfast nook.
That's why you set up your table to look like you're doing a COVID work from home segment for Good Morning America. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, cool. Nice. Good to
know. And then next we have writer number 1 versus friend who asked her to be an usher out of pity at their wedding. 8% said the writer is wrong. 92% said the friends are wrong. And we've got the writer wrote in. Hi, I'm the pity usher. The wedding happened. I mainly ran the sound during the ceremony and introductions. They didn't have a DJ and had a playlist going for the reception. 2 other people were the MCs during the introductions. The other usher walked the groom's grandma down the aisle and sat with her. They didn't have the seating split between grooms and bride side, so there wasn't much to do as a traditional usher. They did have separate wedding parties. She had 3 and he had 5 plus his 3 sisters up there. The music station was the first thing the wedding party saw as they entered the room to walk down the aisle. And the bride told me that it was very comforting that I was the first person she saw during the ceremony.
Aww.
It made my heart melt a little. Thank you for validating my thoughts. I'm definitely honored that they thought of me to be involved in any way. Like y'all said, I would have been perfectly fine if they didn't tell me the pity backstory, though. Smiley emoticon.
Cute. Very fair. I agree with all of that. That's sweet. I've been thinking about weddings a lot lately.
Why?
Everyone keeps fucking asking me, like, oh, like, what are you gonna do? And like, I just have to say that, like, no one should ask me that question because, like, if you've had a wedding, like, I think my answer will offend you. And I'm like, I don't see the point of spending so much money to be, like, absolutely miserable for fucking months and then pay for it.
I tried to get it out without laughing and I failed.
I just can't fathom it. And I was talking about that with, like, my future sister-in-law yesterday. And she was like, yeah, no, my mom, like, she took over planning. She goes, I really didn't have to do anything. She goes, but if I didn't have that, she was like, if I was in your situation and I had your life, she goes, no way in hell you would convince me to, like, do that. I go, why would I spend money to be miserable when I can do that for free?
Mm-hmm. I can be bad all by myself.
Facts. And it happens. Oh, okay. Then we have writer number 2 who says they hate like this one. This also.
Oh, they wrote back too. I think I
screenshotted it.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah. Writer number 2 who says they hate white people and white people are weird versus white partner who doesn't grasp the reality of the situation. 5% of the writer is wrong, which I am now just seeing. And then 95% said the partner is wrong. Let me see if I'm pretty sure I did. Let's see. So the writer responded and said, help, I was a person who wrote in about this, and for some context, she is a computer science major, so there's that. I think it's getting better, but I'll just talk to her about it explicitly. I'm going to fist fight the people who said I'm wrong, though. Thank you, guys. I'm also going to fist fight the people who said...
Well, fitting for today, because it's Fisting Friday.
Ew.
All right, so writer number 3 versus asking a friend to pick up some items from the writer's ex who is a sex offender. 9% said the writer is wrong. 91% said the writer is not wrong.
Pretty much everyone said the same thing that we did, where it's like, as long as, like, informed consent on the friend's end so they know what they're dealing with.
Yep.
Okay, then we have writer number 4. Wow, this is very split. Writer number 4 versus fiance who left AirPods in the pockets and the writer did laundry. So 1% said the writer is wrong, 50% said the fiance is wrong, and 49% said both are wrong. There's literally only 3 votes for just the writer is wrong. It's pretty split. And someone messaged and said, it's not them, but they said, this part blew my mind. I genuinely didn't know most people had checking pockets as a part of doing laundry. I've done my own laundry for 9 years since moving out of my parents, and I've never once gone through and checked my pockets before putting the clothes in the machine. I just always take everything out of my pockets before they go into the basket. I've only ever ended up with a couple of things like a hair tie or a coin ending up in the wash. If I was this writer, I wouldn't even think to check. I might have to give a disclaimer to future partners I live with that if I do their laundry, there's no way I'm doing an extra step of checking every pocket beforehand.
You never know what you might find, though, if you do.
I love checking pockets, and, like, I find, like, 5-year-old lip balm in, like, coat pockets are the fucking best, though. Yes. Because you don't wear coats all the time.
That's when I thought my AirPods were missing for 2 years. I thought they were in my coat pocket, and I searched every coat pocket. They weren't there. But they were in a purse that I hadn't used in a while.
I'm still fucking looking for a Pottery Barn gift card that I have not found.
You might find it in a year, 2 years. Who knows?
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
It's hold out hope.
And then we have Wrong of the Week, Akon. 98% said that he is wrong. 2% said he is not wrong.
That's not his real hairline, right?
I was literally looking at this and was like, it looks like somebody placed hair on top of his head. It could be his real hairline, but he just has a shitty barber that doesn't know how to move it back a little bit.
His barber, if that's his barber hates him. Yeah. If
he might have wanted it like that. Anything this man does, I don't trust.
I also do wonder, though, you can have this, like, it's kind of like this fiber filler spray, and I wonder if they just did a little too heavy-handed.
I think it's too thick to be that, but I think they just don't know how to, because they tapered it too much on the side anyway. I don't think they know how to properly cut hair.
No, it looks like he's wearing a little hat. Mm-hmm. So my wrong of the week, I nominated Brittany Dawn. 100% said Brittany Dawn is wrong, and 0% said Brittany Dawn is not wrong. No one voted wrong on this one accidentally.
Oh, have you watched Abbott Elementary yet?
No.
Okay, never mind.
Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait.
Just know that the rapper that Akon went on his podcast, they mentioned him during the episode.
They mentioned that rapper?
They mentioned Joe Budden.
Ooh, okay. I'm excited.
Anyway, well, that's it for the results.
Hell yeah.
You have anything else you'd like to share?
Not so much that I can think of. I would like to thank everybody who has been sending me tips on doll houses and things. And I really want to do it.
Do it.
I think I'm going to do it, but I need to, similar to how you have a plan for a little rolling desk, I need to create a space for it where it can stay and won't give me anxiety that, like, there's too much stuff there or...
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.
Whatever it is. So I need to create a little nook.
Yeah.
And then I will enjoy it.
Agree.
So I'm pretty excited for that. And yeah, anything else that you want to talk about? And we are so excited to let you know that we're in person.
We are. We're together again.
I was going to troll them and say we were recently acquired by Joe Rogan. Something. Ugh. What would have been a believable trolling?
Negative or positive?
Well, if it's a positive, then I'm just jinxing us for our future. I don't want that. It's got to be a negative.
Okay.
Maybe we partner with Kate Middleton. That's like a subtle, like...
Y'all? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or...
Probably shouldn't have my fat stacks.
I gave Melissa $11 that I've owed her for months.
I should have charged you interest.
That's... I'm going to say it's not very patriotic. It's very patriotic of you.
Mm-hmm. The American way.
That's not very... I don't know. I'm just glad you didn't charge me interest. I could have paid it. I had more of the cash. This literally, I'll also just know, everyone, that this sparked from...
Wieners.
No. I think it was a call, and it was about paying back. Or was it...
Yeah,
which podcast was
it? But Am I Wrong? And the writer was asking if they would be wrong if they asked their partner to give them money for a spa.
So just know,
had already asked, they said they would pay for it.
Because of this podcast is why I remembered I owed Melissa money.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote it down, and I brought it. And you should have seen the panic this morning when I went to Mott's, and I said, "Do you remember where my wad of cash is?" And
Why do you have just a wad of cash?
Because I am my father's
daughter.
doing?
Doing? No.
Selling things on Facebook Marketplace, but also I didn't want to leave the wad of cash in LA when we went to Colorado, because
you told you've already
and about how I felt like I don't know why I felt like I was having to hide it while we were driving, again, as if I was in a covered wagon that was being pursued by, I don't know,
dysentery,
whoever's trying to come snatch me, my body, or my money. And yeah, so I did find it, because I hid it, as I do with things saying, "Megan, you can't remember anything."
Do you keep it in a bandana?
No.
And then when you go, and then when you go on trips, you stick it in your brassiere.
No, but that's a good idea. It's gonna look
so
real
my
uneven,
whole great grandmother would do.
I like that. Mm-hmm. Or people put money in the shoe. Mm-hmm. I don't even like seams in my socks. That would be hard for me.
Yeah, that's when she would tell. When I go to school, she'd be like, "Make sure you keep a couple dollars in your shoe." I was 9.
I used to keep money in my bra. I always used to have money in my bra. Yeah, no, I didn't have a bra then at 9. But growing up, if I was, high school, college, my cash in one bra, one cup, my ID in the other, and I'm purse free, bitches. I'm not tied down. And then I just had to hope my roommate would let me in, because I didn't bring my
put it in my bra. Yeah. But then I felt bad one time I went to a party and it was sweaty, and then I had to give money to somebody, and the money was sweaty.
It's college. Everything's sweaty in college.
That's true. We used to go to this, it was only my freshman year because it was shut down after that, but it was this place, and I don't even know what the real name of it was, but it was a place where people would throw parties, and it was called the Sweat Box.
That's really descriptive.
Yeah. But it was literally just a box, a building that was just a box. And it was so hot. There was no air conditioning, and everybody was dancing and stuff. So you were sweating.
College is just damp. It's just a musty experience. Mm-hmm. Speaking of college, I don't know if you know, and it's definitely not trending as we're recording this, but as we're recording this, Baylor Rush has just ended. And
when they go back to school?
I don't know.
Seems quick, but anyway.
Yeah. So the whole thing is weird, and I found out it was in Waco, Texas, and I go, perfect. Chip and Joe, you're to blame for this. The whole thing is so odd. The outfits are a combination of everyone's dressed like Miss Frizzle or a Victorian ghost. That's there's no in between. And it's very weird outfits. Also, and this is no shade to any of them. They're all gorgeous girls. They love their outfits. Rock your own. You're talking to someone who wore rainbow thigh-high toe socks and platform flip-flops and a tiara to school every day. Wear what you want to fucking wear. Enjoy your life. Not here to judge you. I am just a little curious if, and I would love someone to do a deep dive on this. They all look so much older than they are. And I don't know if it's because it's a very Christian university, if this whole primed to be a wife and be a mom has influenced how they like dress and do their makeup and carry themselves. That like I look at them and I go, I feel like all of you are older than me. Like just how they look, how they talk, and even like their faces. And like I think it's how they hold their faces and like facial expressions. I'm like, oh my God, like this is so odd that it's like this little pocket of Texas that feels like simultaneously time has been sped up and then also is untouched by time. And I got into watching all of them, and then I naturally had to check the Greek rank of all of them, GreekRank.com. And I did compare it to my old college, which then sent me down a rabbit hole. A couple sororities got called out for bullying, and they're like, someone did a YouTube video on it. I was like, are we talking about me? And I was like, no, but someone did talk about my TikToks on it. But then someone...
Really?
And then someone talked... I mean, they talked about, like, when I left, it was talked about there, but just that was so long ago. But... you know, from my school, it'll be like, fuck, I'll just say Kappas because I was a Kappa. Like, fuck, like, Kappas, like, that one fucking Kappa bitch, like, sucked my boyfriend's dick. Like, she's a fucking whore. Like, they're blah, blah. And then you go on Baylor's, and it's like, you know, I'm just going to say a random sorority name. I don't know if this is one that's there, but they're like, AKOs, like, they're really nice, godly girls, but if you don't love God, like how they like love God, like really, really love God, like you're not going to fit in this sorority. Like, and it was so like the framework of the sororities are obviously like they're Panhellenic sororities. They're pretty much like the same across the board, but at the different schools, I'm like, oh, the bullying and the not being included and like all these things is all there just in like different formats based on like, oh, you're not, whether it's like, oh, you're not rich enough, like everyone's making fun of me for being poor, and this was like, oh, people are telling me that like I don't like God enough. I'm like, oh, no matter what, there are unrealistic expectations and standards for you to live up to. So like regardless, across the whatever school you're at in these Panhellenic sororities, there are expectations and standards that you will potentially not meet and still have that like catty kind of thing there. And it was just so interesting because after watching those Rush videos, I was like, I feel like this just has to be like a parent-teacher conference. Like everyone seems so like sweet and kind and wholesome, and it's like very buttoned up. And then I watched these videos of them doing TikTok dances and of like shaking their asses, and I was like,
that sounds like the South to me, though.
I was like, why? What is with you in this Victorian child dress that you're acting all prim and proper? And then where's that girl? Where's the girl who's you just bent over and you're twerking your ass?
I mean, for my sorority, everything is very. When you do Rush and then you get initiated, I have to say the technical term.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you get initiated and all that time, it's very ceremonial and proper and things.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the music starts, different.
I mean, ours was definitely like, you had to kind of be put together. And like, I remember it was like a real big mind fuck for me because I got dirty rushed by, I think I got dirty by like 3 or 4 sororities, but like I only participated in 2. I was kind of just like, I know what's going on with, like, I know what's happening and I'm not interested in this one. Mm-hmm. And so I knew that because like, oh, like we're going and partying and like we're doing shit before Rush starts, then we're doing the buttoned up prim and proper thing afterwards. So like I kind of have like an idea of it, but even also just from how people were talking and like, you know, everyone might be in like a really like buttoned up, really nice casual outfits, but I was having really like chill conversations with people, like, and it was like, okay, like, what do you like to do? And I was like, well, I'm not gonna say like I love getting drunk because we're all in sororities. I'm assuming we all love getting drunk. Like, okay, but I'm really curious about like the at religious schools like that, because from some of the Greek rank stuff that I saw, there were like, oh, this sorority, like I think they like my friend goes here and like I'm pretty sure that they like drink. I'm like, I wonder how hard it is to navigate that rush in that way where there's like a standard that the school sets for like drinking and partying and whatever you can do. And then their sorority has their own things. But like if you're spending the first couple weeks, maybe that's why they don't do their rush until winter. So you can kind of have a sense of like what they stand for. Because I would think if you want to be in a sorority that is like not drinking and partying at all, or you do, I think that's easier to figure out at a non-religious affiliated school that has like the school rules. Cause like that would just stress me out so much.
When was your rush?
Like, it's before school even started.
That's how, for the Panhellenic, that's how it was at my school. Like, till like my junior year, but then they changed it because they're like, why are you in a sorority before school even started?
I mean, that was my priority.
The main thing was like, how are you Greek without being a Razorback yet? And so they changed it till it was like a few weeks after school started, but then like.
But yours is not.
No, in PHC sororities, you just pick when you want to do yours. And you also have to have, I don't know what the requirements are now. It's probably the same thing, but you also had to have at least, I believe, 12 credits before you could. And have, but I came into school as a sophomore, so I did it my freshman year, but most people don't.
Yeah, because it'd be hard to.
You can't. Like, you literally can't.
I don't think I even got 12 credits my freshman year.
Total?
Yeah. We know how I scammed the system.
But, you have to have, like, a certain GPA and stuff. And
you can only pick one.
Yes, you go for the sorority that you want to be in. And if you get rejected, then you either go back to that sorority the next time or not at all.
Yeah, but then you're making a educated decision in the one that you're like going for, and so there's a little bit less of a mind fuck.
Yes,
of like, what does this stand for? What are these people like because
you already know, like, you know what type of people that you want to be around.
And I think that how we've talked about your sorority experience is like how I thought Panhellenic sororities would be. So like when I remember when Sydney and I both went Kappa at different schools, I remember looking up about like, even during Rush, I'm like, what are Kappas like as a whole? And then knowing people who are at different schools where it was like, oh, Kappa's not a good sorority there. Or like Gamma Phi was a great sorority at my school, but like it is not a good sorority in most other places. And like, I'm like, oh, I can't even Google to find out what do they stand for nationally, because like it's nothing. Like there's not really any like consistent through line through all of this that I can even know when applying to the school. Because basically what happens is like for like Panhellenic sororities, for most people who go, unless like you are going to a school that like a sibling went to or a parent went to and you are a legacy of a specific sorority there and you want to join because of that, it's like, oh, I want to be a part of Greek life. And it's like, okay, well, here are your, like, that's not very specific. And it's just like, well, whatever's going to take me. And like, no shit, that it's not a great community. And then also like, I don't want to say the standing of the sorority in terms of like popularity, but like in terms of the kinds of people who are there doesn't even stay consistent for 4 years. Like some of the seniors you meet when you're a freshman, you're like, that's such a different vibe than the people who are bringing in, who are like younger in this now. And it's because it's just all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think ours is very much part of the culture too.
Yeah.
Black culture. So it's consistent. So it's just looked upon differently. Like on Sunday was our Founders Day. And so I wore my AKA sweatshirt, and when I went to the movies, like so many people told me Happy Founders Day.
Oh.
And like there was another.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey y'all, I'm JJ.
Hey guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
AKA there, and she said, hey, Sora and stuff. So like, it's just like, people just know.
Yeah. I mean, when I find out someone's an AKA, I'm like, this is, someone else has already done the vetting for you. I know I'm going to like you. Like, it's just, like, that's just, because it's also cool because, you know, you align with it so strong, and I love you. And so I'm like, for you meet another Kappa, you have no obligation to be like, well, Megan was a Kappa, so she's great.
Even like I think about Kappas at my school, and it seems very different from what it was at your school. But yeah, it was just like everybody. I wouldn't expect the people that ended up, which Kappa was like the best one at my school at the time, and
the oldest sorority.
Yeah,
it's fucked up, but that's
it. But and that was kind of like what everybody wanted to get into, and
the 90% of the reason why you join your sorority is based on who you talk to and who prefs you. So like essentially, it's every person prefs someone who they really like, and so there's like really no cohesiveness throughout it. And then sometimes people would like, they would want someone just because she was pretty. Or I remember there was a couple of times, like, I mean, we were definitely not as much with that, where it was kind of like, you have to reach a certain level of looks to like get in. But if you have a baseline level of looks that they want or whatever, if you have a 4.0 GPA, like you're fucking in. Like we need you to, because we're collecting beauty, not brains usually. But it makes such a weird collection of people, because I remember if I had gone Gamma Phi, like the part of the reason why I didn't go was I talked to less people there, and I still talked to the girl who like prefed me. Like she's great. She lives in LA, and I talked to like her and her best friend who like they're still like best friends now. And I remember looking at her and like not saying this to her, but like we've talked about it since, and me recognizing being like, we're so similar, but like you're definitely the oddball out of this sorority. Like I'm sure they all really like you, and they definitely do, and like you're friends with everybody, but personality wise, like you have more personality than everybody else in this room, and so do I. And so you're kind of attaching on to me. And I remember she told me like recently, she was like, oh, I cried when like you didn't go. She was like, I was devastated. She was like, I was like, this is awful. Like I was so sad. And like, that's part of the thing, I think, is that like everybody picks who like their perfect person is, but because there's never been like one overarching, it all started with like the individuals picking their own individual people. Like it doesn't mesh that well.
And see, for us, we don't like actively recruit or pick. No one in PhD knows anyone else's process. So like I'll like the way that you're telling me these things, I will never say what we do.
I would never ask about that, because I mean, you know, I know, and like that's like the whole process of it is, again, it's like so clear how like every once in a while we'll text each other someone who we find out is like an AKA, and like I'm never surprised. Yeah. Like I'm always like, this fits. But like if you look at, I mean, the only fucking Kappas I can name off the top of my head are like me, I think Mariska Hargitay, Meghan Markle, and Jamie Chung. And Jamie Chung is from my chapter. Like besides from that, like there are lots of other people. Like it's not kind of a surefire in the way that I think that the concept of sororities should be, especially because it's like faux women's empowerment. And I'm like, oh, you know what's actually empowering? Like people who honor their Founders Day every single year, and who are going to conferences, and who are able to like help people get, like when you move to LA and like you're able to like reach out to, like, that's what women supporting women is. It's I don't need you to hold my hair while I barf in the bathroom. Like do that now, but what are you doing like the next like 15 fucking years? Right. And that's the difference. Yeah. And it's just interesting, but it is cool to know, bringing back to the Baylor thing, that like regardless where you go to school, and again, in the Pan-Hellenic space, regardless where you go to school, it's the same bullshit in different flavors. Yeah. Like you're either not rich enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, or you're not Christian enough. Yeah. Yeah. There are specific guidelines that we have that are unwritten, but you just know. Then I ended up watching a video, because on the Greek rank of Riverside, for Gamma Phi, they mentioned like, you know, I hope they take the accusations of bullying seriously. And apparently like the school. So are they saying bullying and not like hazing? No, two separate things. Okay. So, but there was like, I don't know any Pan-Hellenic sororities that had hazing. Like, because kids, like for sororities, like people, they crack, maybe they're letting up now, but they really had to crack down like 2 or 3 years before I got there. I don't think someone died, but I think it was, of the women, it was like really bad. So they were like we had to check in. Like nationals used to come and make sure that everything was going okay.
In the state of Arkansas, hazing is illegal, which is not
in every state. No, I remember that they like basically had to go above and beyond to not haze it. We weren't even allowed to drive ourselves. We weren't allowed to pay for things. Like if we went out to dinner with anyone who wasn't a pledge or like a new member was the official term, we weren't allowed to pay for ourselves. Like the people who were older than us in the sorority had to pay for us because making us pay for them. Like we had like really, and so like that's because something had happened and they had to do that. But bullying is not included in that. There's a couple of the special interest frats. I had one friend who was in one, and like I remember being like, I partied a fuck lot in college, and I remember just being like, I think you're gonna die. Like I remember being so scared and just making him sleep in my bed and watching him while he slept and being like, I'm not drinking tonight because I need to make sure that like you wake up. And I was like really buddy with my RA, and I was like, it was RRA, and I was like, so you know what's happening? And he's like, cool, like we'll do the rounds. When you need to fall asleep, crash in my bed, I'll come in and sit in your room and like make sure he's okay. Okay, well, have a great weekend, everybody. I hope you get fisted and forked. Like forked as in whatever you
how
want it to
they used
mean.
it on the television show.
Like fucking? Mm-hmm. If you want to use fork like that, or if you want to have some like...
No, on The Good Place, you know, instead of saying fuck every time that she would say fuck, it would change to fork. She like, I can't say it. Fork.
That's such a good show.
Is it?
You don't like it?
No.
You don't like The Good Place?
Of course I love The Good Place. I believe I'm the one that told you to watch it.
Actually, no. It was... absolutely everybody in the industry was like, you have to watch the show. It's the best show ever made.
But then I kept telling you because you were like, and I kept telling you, watch the fucking show.
Well, I think you were the one that I was like, okay, well, I actually trust you now.
Okay.
You know? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, see y'all on Monday.
Goodbye.
Listening to a podcast should be time well spent, and I promise it will be if you'll give this podcast a try. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in every episode, I talk with leading experts on topics I know you will find fascinating. From why people can't keep secrets, what your favorite music says about you, why your pet acts in strange ways, and so much more. Something You Should Know is designed to give you information you can use in your life and give you great intel that you can share with others. I'm told it's a binge-worthy podcast. And with over 1,000 episodes, there's a lot to binge on. Something You Should Know has been ranked in the top of the Apple Podcast charts consistently for a long time. I know you're going to like this. I just need to get you to try it. Something You Should Know. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hi, this is Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Spate. We were both on a little show you might know called Supernatural.
It had a pretty good run, 15 seasons, 327 episodes.
And though we have seen, of course, every episode many times, we figured, hey, now that we're wrapped, let's watch it all again.
And we can't do that alone. So we're inviting the cast and crew that made the show along for the ride. We've got writers, producers, composers, directors, and we'll of course have some actors on as well, including some certain guys that played some certain pretty iconic brothers.
It was kind of a little bit of a left field choice in the best way possible.
The note from Kripke was, he's great, we love him, but we're looking for like a really intelligent Duchovny type.
With 15 seasons to explore, it's going to be the road trip of several lifetimes. So please join us and subscribe to Supernatural then and now.